For our project, we decided to do Merlin, and our research question was how did Merlin become one of the mythical beings in Great Britain? Merlin appears in many different literature and his character is very mysterious and controversial, as Merlin is considered son of a demon, yet he was a servant of the god and many kings. In many texts, Merlin appeared as a young boy with no father, yet on others he appeared as an old wise man, freely giving his wisdoms to four successive British kings. Merlin is considered as a great wizard, prophet, and an advisor to several kings, including King Arthur, the text we read. Merlin wasn't just one man, he appeared in many literature, in many faces, and as many different people. Thus, to conclude his character and look into further about what he actually was, we decided to summarize some of the texts that Merlin appeared in.
Do you know the Merlin was known to be son of the devil and servant of the god? If you haven't, let's start a story. Basically, the story takes place where one rich man with his wife, one son and three daughters terminated by the demon. The demon decided to kill the whole family, so he killed man's son and that caused man's wife to hang herself. Man dies from some serious illness. One of the man's daughter was buried alive for her crimes because she slept with someone else's husband. The two remaining daughters prayed and asked for help from their priest. The priest gave them advice to follow God and pray before going to the bed. The younger sister soon became a prostitute and sold her soul to the devil. One night, older daughter forgotten to pray. The demon came upon her and impregnated her. The child was Merlin. Right after he was born, Merlin's mother had him baptized, and this removed the stain of evil. And that was the reason why Merlin was known to be the son of the devil and servant of the god.
The story of Merlin as a prophet begins as the king of Great Britain decides to build a tower. Overnight, the tower would collapse again and again as he tried to build it. So his advisors advised him to sacrifice a child born without a father. Merlin was the child. He was brought before the king. Merlin says that he knows the reason why the tower was collapsing. Merlin said two dragons were stuck underneath the ground, a white dragon and a red dragon, and they were fighting, and that's the reason why the walls were collapsing. And as Merlin says these prophecies, he realizes his power, and this is the beginning of Merlin and his journey with the great kings of Britain.
In another text, Merlin appeared as the Wild Man of the Woods, which was later written by Geoffrey of Monmouth in a book called Vita Merlini, The Life of Merlin. In this text, Geoffrey contradicts his earlier work, which was Historia Regum Britannia, which was presented by Chandra earlier. In this story, Geoffrey writes that Merlin took part in a war between Peredur of the Nations against Gurnals, in which Peredur's three brother dies, and because of this, Merlin gets overwhelmed and runs off to the forest. The king finds Merlin and puts him in chains, and Merlin tells the king that he saw in his prophecy that king's wife met her lover under the tree. The king asks Merlin to see a fate of one of the boys in the court to see if Merlin is telling the truth or if he really is going crazy. Merlin says the boy would die from a fall, then he says the boy would die from a tree, and later says the boy would die in a river. With three prophecies of the boy dying, the king releases Merlin saying he is crazy, and Merlin returns to the forest once again. While Merlin is in the forest, his prophecies come true. The boy falls off of a rock where his feet were caught in a branch of the tree and his head was in the water, and he died because of drowning. The king realizes that Merlin's prophecy came true, which indicates that his prophecy about his wife committing adultery must have also been true. Then Merlin begins to foretell a series of prophecies which come true. This shows how there isn't one definitive answer as to how Merlin became a mythical being. As in the earlier text, Historia Regum Britannia, he wrote that Merlin became a prophet by helping the king build his fort. However, here it states a completely different story. However, many of them, or a lot of them, seem to have the similar underlying idea that Merlin helped many kings and that he was able to foretell futures.